Shalom, everybody. Shalom. Welcome to Black the Hebrew. We got my bro and my sis, Jameel and Nike Jackson, here with us today. We're going to just chop it up with them, just kind of talk about some background. I know y'all know who this is, Truth of Yah. So, we're just going to kind of, what's going on? Like, what's going on with the business? We're going to get right into it.
All right, shalom. So again, like she was saying, this is my wife, Nike. We've been married going on 2 years, right, babe?
2 years.
All right. So
Black love.
Yeah, all praise Hebrew love.
Yes,
all praise.
yes.
So but like I said, business been beautiful. All praise to the Most High for giving me the vision to create such a tool as the Truth of Yah Board game and much more that's coming soon.
Okay. Well, this has been a long time coming, getting you up close and personal to kind of get to know who you are as a person outside of Truth of Yah. And that's kind of what I want to get into today, just to kind of get a little bit of background information about you and Nike, on culturally, what was your background and, from starting off, like who was Jameel as a child?
Okay, so quick, now let my wife speak on, her, but as a child, I grew up in Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
I grew up in a two-parent household, which was awesome. So didn't really understand how awesome it was to have that balance, but two-parent household, I think I'm like the fourth generation of that, to be honest. So it was good. We had some ups and downs, every family does, but I was never really truly caught up in the streets, I would say.
Okay.
My dad, we got whoopings around here. So it was never, when it comes to that, so I always had a good mind. I always understood how to be a leader, how to be a man, and at the same time, how to serve, because my father was a great man, but at the same time, he understood how to serve. So that's just kind of more so where I kind of came from. It's a lot more, but simple. I wasn't in a bad situation. Grew up in a hood, but
Okay.
I wasn't caught up in all the stuff.
Okay. So culturally, I know that now, Hebrew is who we are and who we are striving to, walk more into. So culturally, and I know that, you kind of gave the background of how you grew up, but like, what was the culture like? Like, just regular Florida culture or what?
I was a culture, to be honest. We like you said, we know we Hebrews now. It was always trying to find who that was. So
okay.
At that point, in this point, we just always knew, we black and we proud. So at the same time, you're trying to be this black and proud person, but we never truly, we always had a foot on our neck.
Okay.
Even growing up, me seeing my father, he raised a household, but I was having a foot on his neck. So to be honest, we just knew we was a black man trying to survive in this world. So culturally, like when you look at what we know now, I didn't really have to be honest, never had a culture. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I had the family reunions and stuff like that, but I was always guessing as a child. I was always guessing, who am I? It got to be more to who I am. So now to find it out, I'm 29 now, so I think around like 24, 25, I find out, and that's kind of more so, I would say, culture. Football, sports. That's all you knew.
Yeah.
Whatever you were taught. So I played football, and that was it. Football, go to school, and come home. So that's kind of more so what it was.
Okay. What was the belief background? What was I know that you, of course, I know a lot of us Bruce coming into the truth, before coming into the truth were in Christianity. So what was that like growing up?
I'm Baptist. So I was Baptist. I went to Grace Mary Mission Baptist Church for a while. I visited some others, and then I left there when I got into college and went to Presbyterian, which was terrible. Which when it comes to the Baptist, the more I came to the truth when I first came in, I disliked the culture. So thank you for coming back to that, bringing that to the up front. So part of the culture was the black church was Baptist.
Mm-hmm.
I left that. It always felt like it was complacent in that type of culture. Hey, just love God and that's it. But it's like, well, I never knew how to love Him.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like I said, went to Presbyterian. That was terrible. Can't really speak on that. It was just...
I was just going to say, I've never visited or experienced a Presbyterian church. Yeah. So what was that like?
It was really, like I said, it was chapel. So when I was in college, I went to Belhaven University. Mm-hmm. And that's when I would say I came Presbyterian, because we had to go to Presbyterian church. Mm-hmm. And we had chapel every day. Like, that was a part of a grade. So I was in there. I had to sit in there. It was boring. It was terrible. They never opened a Bible. All we did was saying terrible. It was terrible music. Yeah, you know, songs I never heard before. And then when it came from that, I came back home. I was kind of like more so done with the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I was done with the Baptist church, and then I was done with Presbyterian. And then again, I came into the Church of Christ, and that was the last, I would say, Christianity until I came into the truth. And when I say truth, not just knowing I'm a Hebrew, but actually learning the word of the Most High.
Okay, and that actually brings us into the next question that I was going to ask you. You know, like, what was your experience coming into the truth from Christianity?
At first, to me personally, because my elder Rick Smith and also Troy, but Rick Smith actually like groomed me from the point of just coming out of Christianity and why, like, basically helped me not harden my heart. Because I'm like, you telling me this is wrong, but we've been here, you know, our whole life, and they got the same book that you got.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that he showed me was that, have you ever opened this book? Have you ever asked him questions like, you know, well, show me, does do it say that? Because it had never said right with you. And coming into it, because it was beautiful, because my elder actually went to Church of Christ and got me out. It wasn't like I was walking one day and he was like, hey brother, you know, you a Hebrew, do you know the truth? He literally left. He literally came into the Church of Christ in St. Pete, sat down at the Bible study on a Wednesday, broke down every scripture to the so-called deacon at this point, who was my deacon, and I'm talking about, it was lights out from there. It was the most humblest thing I ever saw, because at the same time, when we deal with pride, he could have definitely had pride in him, like, oh, you know, he was just trying to teach the guy at the same time, like, it's also teaching me, but not be like, y'all terrible, y'all dumb.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, nah, everything that the Sunday church taught us was not wrong. At meaning, let me say this, meaning to the point that, you know, when we dealing with, you know, believing Hamashiach,
Mm-hmm.
believe, which is Christ, you know, believing, you know, the baptism and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Them things was not wrong. You know, we should not, we should love the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these are things that we knew that were right.
Mm-hmm.
But he came more so to the point of how to keep these things and how to really show our love, which is Ahava. So I would just say, so it was easy for me coming into it because of that, seeing how he brought me out of Christianity in such a set-apart way, I would say. Not belittling that guy, like, you terrible, you lying to the people. He just showing them, instead of telling them, he's showing the guy through scripture that you lying to us.
Okay.
And it made it an easy transition to go tell my girlfriend at the time, you know, hey, babe, we finna do this. And this is why it took a little time. You know, I went cold turkey and a lot of stuff, I just dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but, so, and it, you know, it was kind of easy. I would say it was easy for me coming to it, to be honest.
Okay, because I was just going to go ahead and ask Nike, you know, like, what was your experience? I know that y'all were dating girlfriend and boyfriend at that time, so what was that experience like when he came and kind of, you know, shared that news with you, or that truth with you, and, you know, how did you kind of take that in?
At first it was a little hard because it definitely went against a lot of the stuff that I grew up learning and doing. So it took a minute for me to come into the truth with him. I started doing everything the right way, but mentally I wasn't there. So physically I was doing all the right stuff, but my mind hadn't caught up yet. So I told him, like, you know, I really have to see all this stuff for me to even believe half of what you're saying.
I feel you 100% on that.
He was able to, you know, walk me through the scriptures. And then another one of our friends, she's also in the truth, so it helped to get a woman's perspective on everything. And between the two of them and the scripts, I was right there.
Because you can't argue with the scripts. Like, when it's there, it's there.
I need the proof, and I got it, and we were good from there.
Okay. So it was kind of, so would you say that was kind of like it wasn't a real tough transition for you either? You just had to kind of, like, the Most High just kind of had to show you for yourself so that you can kind of...
Definitely. I just needed to see it with my own eyes.
That's definitely understandable. You know, coming off of that, you got into the truth. Your elder, you said your elder. Who is your elder? I don't know if you would really want to say who that is, but how did you kind of, from there, once you saw him kind of teaching and giving a deeper understanding of what the scriptures meant on that day, that you stopped going to that church, like, kind of from there, did y'all build a relationship, or like, you know, where did you go from there?
To be honest, it wasn't that day. I think the first time they met, so a quick background on that. My best friend, which is, you know, Tone, he's my best friend. My best friend's cousin is my elder.
Okay.
So my best friend always knew who he was. You know what I'm saying? So he used to tell me, hey bro, we the true Jews. I'm like, but when I type in it on the phone, I see Jewish. I'm like, I ain't that white dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no curls. You know what I'm saying? So when he was always said, but you know, I was feisty. You know, in the world. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know, headstrong, man. Hey, look, bro, this is what it is, or I don't believe or whatnot. So, but at this point, he introduced me to Rick Smith, and he literally came in, like I say, and just annihilated the Church of Christ that day. I'm talking about, it was crazy, but it was in a respectful way, but just through scriptures. And like I said, yeah, we built a relationship after that. He took time with me, and like my wife was saying, that was so great is that he can see I was physically doing it. Like he'll like, don't eat pork, I won't eat pork. But then he can look like, bro, if you still feel it inside, that you still want to do it, like what's the point? And my wife was like, she said, physically, I come home like, yeah, Christmas tree gone, better be gone, you know. But at the same time, in her mind, like I still want to do Christmas. Yeah. And my elder, when it comes to all these points, he helped through the marriage and everything else, because he went through this as far as he was always in the truth. So I got an elder that was never indoctrinated. He was never indoctrinated into Christianity. Okay. So when I come to him, he's like, why are you so mad at the Sunday church? So he helped me calm down. But I'm like, man, you don't know what they be doing in there? Because he never experienced it. So it wasn't like he was in Sunday church and it came out. He was totally neutral. And he taught me characteristics. The thing too, it helped me come in so easy and fast. He didn't teach me the point of, he like, listen, you got to make sure you're right. Examine yourself. Build the character. You got to make sure that your character's right, because you could be saying Yahuwah, Yahushua, Yahweh, whatever name you want to say, Christ, Jesus, God, and if you're not doing these ways of the Most High, you're nothing. Yeah. You know, it's vain. You got to make sure that you're doing these things with integrity. So he really built the characteristics. Like, look, you got to make sure you walking. Are you following Yah? You know, he told Abraham, he said, walk before me perfect. So he didn't say try to. He told you to do it. And when my elder was showing me these things, it just helped humble me to examine myself daily. So that's what it came so easy because of him. I'll pray through the Most High. Yeah. To him, he showed me, just look, walk right, make sure you right. Don't learn this and try to go kill your wife with it or your family with it, which I was doing at first. And he started noticing. He had to sit me down. Listen, walk this thing out, and then she will follow. Walk this thing out, and then your family will follow. And now I'm teaching my family now. Okay. So yeah. Okay.
So you know, knowing about your background, how you came up, and kind of culturally where you were, belief-wise where you were, coming into the truth, to the Truth of Yah Board game. So what was the intent when kind of creating the board game?
So the whole intent when creating the board game was literally like, people got to see what's in this book. You know, what blew my mind when I started reading is like, so many people will go out here and talk about they love God. You can go to 100 people, basically all of them will say, I love God. But then you ask them, why do you love God? And they're going to say, well, because he did this and this for me, right? Okay, all praises. Now, how do he know you love him? And they'll be like, because I got baptized. Man, look, you got dipped in some water. That's what you got. You know what I'm saying? So we take a bath every day or shower every day. So you get touched on some water every day. But are you letting, it's just word baptizing you. It's just word, you know, are you letting this word get in you? And that's what the Truth of Yah Board game came about. To the point, it's like people love board games, especially our people. When I create this board game, it's for all people that want to come get this truth. But what I'm thinking about, we know Christ said he came back for the lost sheep of Israel. He came back for his people first. He got the house right. He wanted to get the house right first. To the Jew, then to the Gentile, right? So the board game was more so like, what is our culture like? They love every game. We got a game night every week. Yeah. We got something every week. We turn it up. You know what I'm saying? So when I started thinking about this, you know, well, when it came to me, it was a picture of me and my wife from my wedding. I took the picture out and I drew on this board. And she came in like, why this picture? I'm like, babe, I ain't have no big cardboard. I needed something. Because when it came to me, like, I gotta draw it out. And then, like I say, the Most High, at first I started getting a little, when you first come, you could get prideful, like, ain't nobody doing this. So I started adding certain things, and he had to check me and hold me down. Look, stick to what I'm saying. Because at one point I know it was going to call it the Truth of Yah. I wouldn't just say, man, this is, you know, truth board game or something like that. Yeah. And it got to the point, make this board game, make this tool. I don't like calling it a board game. It's by default. But this tool where they can seek me and they can learn. So around the board, you can even, before you even play the game, you see certain terms around the board, teaching people, what does this mean? What does this term mean? What does repent actually mean? What does truth actually mean? Truth means law. You know what I'm saying? So when I started understanding this is what the board game literally started bringing, to renew minds and save lives. That's our slogan. I mean, slogan. Slogan. I'm a coach, so I coach football. I'm thinking about slogan. That's one of the plays. But so it's renew minds and save lives. And you gotta, to save your life, you gotta renew your mind. And we gotta seek truth. And that's what the board game is going to bring. It's not if you get this board game, that's what it's going to bring. It's going to bring truth of the Most High. And if you deny it, you just deny Him.
So, what, I guess you kind of answered the question in there, but a little bit more in depth, like how this vision was revealed to you from the Most High. Like, I know that you said that you got, you kind of studied the culture. What is our culture like? Board games, having game nights and things like that. But was there a actual, revelation or kind of vision from the Most High of, I know you said He humbled you on certain things, but was there anything else more in depth of like when you thought of the idea that the Most High brought to you?
Yeah, so like to go more in depth, like when I was saying when I drew on the cardboard, literally I'm laying there because I was doing other businesses, and I've been thought of doing a game before, but I was so afraid because I'm like, people not gonna take it serious because I'm just coming to this thing with whoop. So, but when I'm actually laying down, like I couldn't sleep. I'm just thinking, it's on my mind heavy.
Yeah.
And it's just given to me. It's like, answer question, move spaces, you do this, you do that, and it's like, man, I gotta draw this thing out because you gotta think about when you get into the Bible. He said if you lukewarm, what he gonna do? He gonna spit you out, right? So when a stumbling block comes, are you gonna keep going through the stumbling block? So all this stuff going through my head, it was that night crazy heavy. Got up, drew it out. That same weekend, me and my wife and 2 other friends went out of town. I presented to them. Listen, like it was fast. And look, we gotta go talk about this. And they kind of looked like, what? As far as like it's cool, but it's like kind of like. Okay, it sounds interesting, but I know I couldn't really explain everything because I didn't have the full thought of the truth. I just knew it was gonna be a board and it's gonna be questions. That's kind of all I knew, and I was gonna move around. But more had to come, and over time, more and more came, and that's when the Most High was like, "Hey, put this here. Like, as far as put this term here, do they not know this?" And then mom like, "Man, they need to know this." And that's kind of more so the stun blocks came, the Egypt go to bondage came, the French corner came, the prayer room came, like, because don't nobody really know how we supposed to pray. Like, everybody think you know how to pray. We supposed to pray against the wicked. We praying for the wicked. We praying, pray for America. Man, come get this. You know what I'm saying? And when you really read the scripture, understand how King David prayed and things like that, it's like, wow, pray against the wicked. And this is why I created a prayer room and the fruits of the Spirit. So it's a lot, but all that came literally just thinking, because I don't want to say a vision like I'm asleep and I saw people at the board game and they moving around. Nah, it was really just on my mind like crazy. And then it's like, boom, 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 because when you examine yourself, who's ever, watching this and whatnot, when you examine yourself, things will start coming like, man, I was doing this, so somebody else may be, going through the same thing, because like they always say, ask the question. Because there's somebody else in that room that got the same question, but they're afraid to ask. So that's how I felt, with the board game. If I went through this and I didn't understand what a stumbling block was, and I didn't understand what truth was, or what repent was, what these certain things meant, somebody else would feel the same way. And that's where a lot of things came on my mind.
Okay. And going just one more, addition to that question, one follow-up. I know that you were talking about the stumbling blocks and the prayer room and everything, and we personally, me and my husband have the game, and we play it all the time with our kids, with my in-laws, and I've shared experiences with you about how we played it and things, but I just kind of want you to kind of explain a little bit about how you structured the questions and the spacing and how many spaces you get to move on certain questions and things like that.
Okay, so when it gets to the point of the stumbling block, so I created stumbling block because, again, we're going to go through the stumbling block, but that stumbling block may hold you back for a day or so. But when you think about that stumbling block, sometimes stumbling block came because of you. We always like, don't put a stumbling block. You don't hold to put a stumbling block in front of someone, but sometimes you put your own stumbling block in front of you. So it's like, okay, when that happens, are you going to keep going? Because after a certain round, you're going to be able to go again. Are you going to give up and pout and not go again? Or are you going to stay in that stumbling block? And then when I got a fringe corner, when that came, we wear fringes. I have on my Zeeks now. But we wear fringes, but a lot of people don't understand why we wear fringes. People got fringes on, but they don't know why. You're physically doing it, but you understand why. And it says to not go on our own way and our own understanding and to keep the commandments. So when you land on the fringe space, it's going to literally, you have to say the 10 commandments. And if whatever you don't know, you move your spaces back. So if you say, you know, you call out 3 of them, the others, you got to move back 7 spaces. Again, you know, when we deal with the cards, you know, it's you move spaces 1 through 4. Some of the, when we think about 4, I'm moving more spaces because I knew there was a harder question. Not every card is like that, because what the Most High, you know, was dealing with me on is that you can look at something like, man, I did more than this person, or I had a harder answer, I should be able to move farther than him. No. Or you're going to do it to the end. A lot of people do a lot of things, and it's like, well, I did more than he did, but how he get a promotion? Oh, this is this. You may be physically doing it, but you may not be able to manage. You may not be able to do these things. So these questions were set up that way. You may get a question, a space 1, and it's a hard question. Yeah. And then when you figure it out, you move 1 space. And then if you get in your heart like, why does 1 more spaces? And real, check yourself. Because it's like, hey, humble out. You know what I'm saying? This game is going to always make you look back at yourself and say, you know what? At least I got it right. You know, at least I did something right. You know, are you doing this thing? My elder always say, are you doing this thing to just get in the kingdom, or are you doing this thing to really represent the Most High life? And you got to ask yourself, like, man, you know. And we asked another question, you know, with this game that brought to my mind as well. My elder always said, if you find out today, and you answer this question, you don't got to answer it, but this is for people. If you ask yourself today, are you a Gentile, or are you, you know, from another nation, and you're not a part of the chosen seed of Israel, would you still follow Yah? See, a lot of people don't think about that. Will you still follow Yah? But it's one law for the homeborn and also for the stranger. If you are not a part of the chosen seed of Israel, will you still follow Yah? And a lot of people will find, if they find they're part of Esau or whatever or whatnot, they'll literally throw the whole Bible away. So what were your spirit? Where were you really at? And that's where the truth of Yah come in at. It's gonna really allow you to check your spirit.
Okay. And from my experience, you know, that's really good background on the reasoning of how you designed the board game, because from my experience, I kind of get from the game that it's not more so of a, oh, who's going to win first, but it's kind of it's not a race in a sense. It's kind of a, when we're playing with me and my husband and our kids, we're all playing, it's kind of, we help each other, you know. Yes. And it seems like it's more of building with other people, so that if you don't know the scripture, I may know a little bit of it. So yes. If you know a little bit, you know, and that may be out of the rules, but we be helping, you know, a little bit.
It's a part of the rules. No, it's definitely part of the rules.
They're helping each other, you know, kind of being like, you know, well, you know, who was, you know, so and so, you know, so we kind of give each other clues and things, and it makes it more fun, and it makes it more realistic to where you can apply that to your own life and be like, okay, you know, if I don't know what part of the book have you eaten and that you have absorbed, to where you can, you know, help out. If I don't know that, you know that. And, you know, what part that I have absorbed that you don't know that I can help you with. So it's kind of like your board game kind of gives me that, which we really, you know, like about it, because it kind of allows us to help one another. And, you know, if I'm at the beginning of the book and you at the end of the book, you may forget something in the beginning. So it's kind of like for new believers and believers who've been in the walk for a long time, because people who've been in the walk for a long time, they kind of be like,
they get prideful,
you know, they get prideful, and then they forget, you know, like, oh,
what they used to be at
Genesis,
not even that, they forget what they used to be at. Don't forget that you was eating that pork too. Don't forget that you was around here fornicating or adultery or whatnot. And this is where, again, the Truth of Yah board game is not just for the person that's just new. It's for the person that need to teach their children, for the person that, because we got to keep learning. Because the first part, everything has a topic. So this is volume 1. So now the question is, what is volume 2? So we got to understand, like, what is this volume focusing on? I know we're speaking on, it's focused on fear. Fear is the beginning of wisdom, right? And knowledge. So, but in that same Proverbs chapter 1, it does not tell you how to fear Yah. You got to go all the way to chapter 8 to know how to fear Yah. So, and to fear the Most High is to get away from pride, arrogancy, and the forward mouth do I hate, with the evil way and things like that, right? So, a lot of people, if you still got pride and arrogance, you don't fear Yah. You still in the beginning. You got to make sure you fear the Most High in these things, so then you can be humbled and then walk. And also part of being humbled is also facing your iniquity, facing what you did. A lot of people get humbled and then think they still don't have to go through the punishment. No, you still, like, I was humble and still gonna get a whooping by my dad. I know I brought the F home, but I'm a humble out, make sure I make it A, but I'm still finna get that beating. But we'll think, well, I humbled out, but why I still gotta go through my iniquity? Don't get it twisted. You finna get this whooping. You know what I'm saying? So when people understand that, you know, they'll really be truly humbled out. A lot of people try to humble out to say, I'm gonna humble out so I can get out of this trouble. Then I'm gonna go right back to it. No, you're gonna humble out and still get this whooping.
Yeah.
And if you go right back to it, you get a whooping again.
Yeah.
So.
So was it easy to follow through with creating a board game?
No.
Did you run into any stumbling blocks or
Yes.
what kind
Definitely
of what was that process?
I was about to give up. I'm telling my wife I put a lot of time and money into it, but I couldn't find a production company. Well, I found some, but they were just, oh my gosh, it was terrible. And they pretty expensive too. But it was to the point, what do I have to cut back? And before I came into all this, I was working for Walmart. I was making good money. Me and my wife were not having any children, so we had a little something. So, but I say, if to get this off, I got to cut a lot of stuff off. So when you read the book of Ecclesiastes, it talks about vanity and all this other. This house is vanity, everything is vanity. So I started saying, you know what? What do I really need? And before I tell my wife, hey babe, don't go stop going to get your nails done, stop getting your hair retwisted. When am I going to stop? Because I'm the man of the house. I need to make sure I'm leading first. So I'm like, you know what? I want a steak tonight. I go eat some noodles. You know what I'm saying? So I had to start cutting back, and then guess what? She started saying, I'm gonna start doing these things. So I gave cars back. I did all these certain things so I can make sure that it's gonna be no excuse for me to say, well, ain't nobody helping me. This ain't nobody else's vision or the dream that most they gave to them. How I'm blaming my mom and my dad and my brothers for not helping invest with me. No, what are you gonna give up to do that? And then when I had to focus on that, things start happening, and then the most I just a company out of nowhere, like I was just looking and it just came, and that's when I knew like this is serious. I'm like, if you really want me to do this, it shouldn't be this hard. Like I'm gonna cut this back, I'm gonna cut this, and it's still kind of expensive, and I can't make this happen. And he literally, like I say, is I'm on the computer and this company comes up, and I hit him up and talked to him, and they my company. That's all I can say. It went from there, and that's when I knew like, okay, it's over, because it took a process over a year to actually get things done. Because a lot of planning. I got a lot of prototypes back there. Each prototype was like $400 a prototype. So one board game was like $400. Every time I did one, if it was one mess up and I wanted to do it again, I had to kick out $400 again, and that's not including shipping. So I'm like, man. But it was I wanted to make sure it was right to make sure, because when you representing the Most High, it has to be set apart. And that's where it got tight. It's like, well, I could just do this. I could have just gave them a terrible game. I didn't have to put a timer in there. I didn't have to put certain nice pawns. When you look at that board, it's like, wow. It's like this thing glamorous, it's different colors. I could have just had it black and white. Colors cost. I could have just had this board, this box, just nothing. You know what I'm saying? So this is where the stumbling block came from me. It's like, should I even do all that? I'm just do this. But then what is offering up to the Most High that you're doing? Will He accept that? Will He accept the first what I was gonna do? He wouldn't accept that. So that's where the stumbling block and all that stuff came, when I had to just say, you know what? I gotta trust y'all, and make it happen. And we here now.
Yes, we are. So I know that you talked a little bit about, family and, support and things like that. Did you have a team, or did you have certain family members that kind of helped you get it done?
All right, yeah. So I'm gonna break it up real quick. So team, when it comes to team, I had a couple, but one that stands out is Jordan. He's been riding me for the longest. Like, he created my website, everything, and just believing what I was doing. He was like, listen, this is my investment to you, and he don't know everything when it comes to the truth, but he's like, listen, whatever you want, basically, I want to learn more and more. And so Jordan definitely been, when it comes to the team at that point, that's what I got people now, but in the beginning, it was Jordan when it comes to a team that's doing things for me. I need this done, I need a website, I need this up. Can you help me with this? Jordan, and he's from New Orleans. He's not in Tampa.
Okay.
So Jordan was when they say team. Now we deal with support from family. My family they would support another way as far as giving. They had to buy time actually doing it. So encouragement wise, they did. But as far as really buying to and really support wise, I would just say my mom and my dad, and really my older brother. To be honest, surprisingly, my older brother.
Okay.
They definitely they came together and helped in some finances as well. And then my wife family, like wow. Shout out to Uncle Calvin, whoop whoop. Grandma Bell, they definitely was very, very supportive and made me feel very, very good because of my wife. Like them seeing she's a strong woman, in their family, the women, they do their thing, you know what I'm saying? So, but to see she has submitted to a man of Yah, and to see how we run our household, and they don't know a lot about the truth of Yah. They they know about the Bible, but them to just say, what you need, and that was big. Like I say, from support wise to see how we doing and finances, Uncle Calvin definitely he came through, and Grandma came through. When they say my family helped me, but they came through. All I can say, hallelujah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Hallelujah. That is awesome. So after you created a board game, you had the support of your family. What was the response? Like, how did you feel about the responses that you received, both negative and positive, about the board game?
So negative, it was just to the point, which my wife helped me out a lot with. It just ignore the the foolish questions, babe, with foolish answers, because most people, they'll come and say something about the board game, but they never even bought anything. So it's like you do with Christianity. You got people say, I love God, and God loves me. He loves everybody. But it's like, well, show me in the Bible. Well, I ain't read it, but that's what somebody told me. And this is where people mindset goes when it comes to the truth of Yah. They just, this brother, he got his own opinion. No, if you don't, I'm selling a tool, but the question, yes, it comes from the word of the Most High. But to set up the board game, this comes from the point of me reading, and the Most High put in my mind how to set these things up. Right. And for people to come and say the things that, and it's not a lot, because again, we sold out within months. We still in the first year of the board game actually on hand. So we got a few more months, and I got another shipment already came in. We already sold out one time already, so all praises. But to have people talk that way about a board game before they even go and check the facts. Jordan created a website for me, all praises for that, but you didn't go see the mission, the vision, or the purpose of the board game. Right. But you got something to say. Foolish, which is in Proverbs, it talks about that. That's a foolish person. And my wife helped me out with that a lot, so I don't get angry. Because sometimes you want to shut down, to be honest. She's like, man, how would your own people, as Hebrews, feel that way about a brother creating something that's going to bring people into the ways of the Most High? Yeah.
But positivity, wise, like, on the positive end of it,
now the positive end was awesome. Again, like I said, the positive was because we sold out. So, it had to be something positive it would bring to the people. But people was really saying, hey man, I'm bringing my family to this thing. Because I would say, a lot of people try to bring their families in by just telling them, but you're not showing them. But the Truth of Yah value on board game, you can sit down with your family. Again, it's creative, so you can have teams. So sit down with your family, and you really have to go to the Bible. So now the same thing you probably told them, now you got the scriptures now. And so then now they're gonna say, oh, this what you meant, Jameel. And now you gotta check it, like, yes, you gotta be like, yeah, I've been telling you that. No. Yeah. You gonna trust the board game? I've been telling you that. No, calm down. Yeah, this is what I was saying. Yeah. And all praise that the Truth of Yah board game has helped my family see this because of what you created. So that's a lot of that, and I'm just happy to bring whoever this, if I may never know what this board game may sow the seed and bring them to the truth. I hope it count on me now. And the word, they'll say that as well. They're going to. It's going to be able to blot out some of the things that you have done. You bring people into this walk, so it's beautiful to know that I'm definitely doing that. I'm in all 50 states.
Oh, look, that's big.
Yes,
that's big. From starting off, hearing your vision from the beginning and seeing, where you kind of were, and how it came about too, and just to where you are now. You just have to be able to recognize and see that, this is a vision from the Most High, and this is something, a tool, like you said, and a resource for a lot of our people who are deep into the truth and who are new believers to get into their Bibles. It has you pick it up, because even if, what you're saying, that you're telling your family members about it and they see the scripture, they will also, see, from my perspective, okay, that I pick up a car and I may have forgot that scripture too, so I gotta go to the Bible too, and I gotta look it up. So it's like, no, I'm not ahead of you, or I'm not above or anything. Like, we all in this walk together, and we all just trying to, esteem the Most High. So, question for the wife. What was your thoughts when your husband brought this vision to you? What were you thinking when he said, babe, I'm going to do this?
So my husband is a very inventive person. So initially I was just like, okay, that's a neat idea. Someone should do that. But I didn't realize that he was going to be the one to actually make that happen until, as he was saying, he pulled out our wedding photo from the cardboard box and drew on the box his version of the board game. And he was using some of my decor as the moving pieces for the game. I came home and I was like, oh, he was serious about this. So we're actually gonna come up with the board game here. So it took a while. It took a few different versions of the board game. We had our god kids kind of help us with it and color the board game how they thought it should look. And it was a fun experience. So watching it come full circle from where it started was great. To see it come from a cardboard box to an actual beautiful board game, it was amazing to just see that happen and to be a part of it.
And I can only imagine just seeing that, cardboard, that piece of cardboard. And, in your mind, you can't think, because we can't really see things, the bigger picture of things sometimes. So, like, just seeing that and being like, okay, and having to have that faith, of like being like, okay, I know this is going to become into something big.
Yeah.
And to see it now for you, out of your eyes, I know that had to be something amazing for y'all.
He had index cards everywhere with all the questions on it. I was like, okay.
I had them everywhere because it's 138 cards.
Yeah.
So first it had some multiple choice. So it's been a lot of different, like I said, a lot of different versions. One of the guys who was helping me design it, a quick funny story. I got it back, and it was Christianity all over it. I mean, they had like some type of fish type thing. I guess it said Jesus saves and stuff like that. I'm like, hey, hold on, but what's this symbol? Like, what's all this stuff going on right here? And he was like, well, and this to let you know people don't never read the Bible. They're like, well, I thought you said that you was into the Bible. I'm like, this don't got nothing to do with the Bible. That don't got nothing to do with it. What are you doing? And it's like, oh, my bad. What do you want? I'm like, listen, thank you for trying to be creative, but just follow this.
Yes.
And he was just trying to help, but that was funny. Like, but because when I paid for it, I get him like, oh, I'm like, no, you finna get me stoned. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So this is, and it's like, nah, we can't rock like that. And it's all praises that I was reading to understand that was wrong.
Right.
Some people are probably like, it's people. Nah,
we
ain't playing that game over here.
Yeah. So how did this experience, or did this experience, let me say, bring you guys closer in marriage? How was that experience for you guys? Doing this, carrying out this vision as husband and wife?
So it definitely did. One of the things that my elder Rick, he always brought out, right, is, like I say, I got to make sure that I'm leading first. I got to make sure I'm right. And in Ephesians 5, it talks about the man washes one. I got to wash my house. I got to wash my wife with the word. And that's a commitment for the man to do. We also need to be teaching our children things like that. So because we know things going on our mind. If it weren't for this word, I don't know if I would have took things serious about marriage, and it's even possible to get these things. And when you got the Most High with you, it's definitely possible to make sure that you're all wondering about, am I being a great husband, right? But if you follow these things of the Most High and you seeking the Most High, you fearing Him, because in Ephesians 5:21, everybody want to use 5:22, and it's like, oh, submit, women submit to your husband. And my elder read me 5:21, and was like, we both have to submit unto the fear of Yah, right? And then she's going to submit to me because I'm doing what? I'm submitting to the Most High. Right. And aren't we the wife? It says we are His wife. So does the Most High, how people treat their women and whatnot, is it the right way? No, because if we're the wife of Yah and Yah treats us a certain way, our wife now will show us how to submit to Yah. My wife is showing me how to submit to Yah, but her submit to me. Right. So I'm like, oh man, she did. Okay, they showed me how to submit to Yah. Yeah. And that's, people understand that's a part of, that helpmate. And your wife will submit. And if she will submit if you're doing the ways of the Most High. The Most High will not give you a wicked person if you're not. Right. If the word lets you know that. If you go off now, you're going to see. Because you're going to be, the reason how, because you're going to be attracted to that. Yeah. So I know what y'all were doing me, this had to be, everything in me was like, the lust in you or whatever in the mind, like, you ain't ready to get locked down. It's like, if I walk away from this, will I ever find this? Yeah. And the word, they start letting you know, listen, don't, hey, Hey, them rubies, baby.
So this, the carrying out the vision together, I can definitely see how that has impacted you guys and brought you guys closer, just, in marriage and just in the truth, going deeper into how to reverence the Most High, and how to walk out this walk. What I would ask after following that is, with us being, in the same generation of, as far as age and things like that, and there is a lot of younger people that are married, but as far as trying to walk in the right way of marriage and the right order of marriage, what advice, if any, would you give anyone about carrying out a vision to, to build up the kingdom, or, building up the kingdom together as husband and wife?
First off, make sure that everybody wants to say you got to seek the Most High, right? But you got to make sure you got somebody that's helping you do that as well. As far as before I'm getting to marriage, again, elder, we got to get double honors, man, to my elders. But at the same time, they're gonna, if you're not ready to lead, no matter how you look at it as a man, if you're not ready to lead, you're not ready. It ain't gonna be beneficial at all. No matter what, we got to lead as a man, and then as you leading. It's simple. Again, I know she's gonna follow. So I'm saying it's like I'm saying the same thing, but it's like for the marriage part, we gotta be the example. The man has to be the example. We can't be going to the house like, hey, why this ain't done? What have you done? And this is where we gotta look back at ourselves again with Adam and Eve. When that happened, he says, Adam, where are you? Yeah, and then he said then the first thing we did is gonna blame the woman. This the woman you gave me. Man, no, hold on, dog. What's up with you? Yeah. So what I'm saying when it comes to that is, if you're married and you're the man, you gotta check yourself first. Make sure you're right. Then she's gonna follow. Like that one day, quick story, because it's gonna help out with a marriage. I came in the house and I saw some pepperoni in the refrigerator. And I was finna go crazy, right? Because I'm like, she got pork in my, like I'm walking back, like she got pork in my house. I opened the refrigerator, look, she got pork in my house. Now I never looked at the wrapper. So in my mind, but instead of me, cause I'm finna go in the room, I'm finna spaz. So, but I'm like, you know what? I checked myself, cause I'm the man of the house. Instead of blaming the Most High, that's the woman you gave me bringing pork in my house. What did I do? Like, what if this is pork at this point? What did I do to make her think she should eat this pork? Because I know she know pork is off, but what was I slacking somewhere? So when I start looking at myself, this is gonna help your marriage. Before you go snap on your wife or whatnot, you need to make sure, what did I do? Because I could have probably been a hypocrite or something. Telling my wife don't do this, but then I end up doing it. Because now when I go to her about this, she gonna say, well, you ate that, you did this, you did that. So now I gotta make sure before I go in here, cause I'm gonna say something no matter what. Yeah. But before I go in here, let me make sure what did I do right? And then before I went in there, I said, cause I'm stressing, like I had to do something wrong for her to think this is cool. So I looked at it, it was turkey. So I was like, wow. So in that moment, if I didn't examine myself and go look at it, I would have went in there and we would have had an argument about, cause I should probably start trying to talk. Don't say nothing till I get done. You know what I'm saying? So she try like, no, you got pork. And so everything on that shelf gotta go. You know what I'm saying? So this is the whole mindset. But in that point, all praises again to the Most High, because again, he put it in my elder to teach me that. So before I went in there to snap or whatnot, I examine myself. So if you got a marriage, make sure you examine your wife too. Examine yourself before you go to your husband. Understand, we ain't trying to be on the ball and Abigail. And the ball means fool. We know Abigail, she had a foolish husband. You read the word. Don't be that fool. Your wife got, she has some wisdom as well. So don't make it seem as if you cannot go and take some wisdom from your wife. If I'm in the kitchen trying to cook, my wife can cook before she's like, look, you gonna burn that steak now. Yeah. It's like, girl, sit down and hush. Yeah. So in marriage, make sure that you're leading and also you're being a servant. That's a key thing. I wish I would have said that earlier. Being a servant in your marriage, like that's gonna keep it right. We are a servant. Say, Jacob, my servant. If you're ready to serve, you're gonna be all right. Because your wife is already gonna serve you, but you gonna serve her. When your wife tired one day, she tired, lay down. Would you go in there and get her a glass of water? You say, babe, I know you tired. I know your foot broke, but I need you to give me some water. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is what's really truly going. Like, it's like, but this is what we gotta understand. This is why a lot of young marriages are failing, because you first off, most are failing because they're getting advice from people that's not even married. They're probably gay. Like the people you get, like, well, my mama, they're both of them gay, and that they can give you some advice about what another man. They're gonna tell you great, so you better do what I did. No.
Yeah.
You abomination is one of the issues. But you know what I'm saying? This is where it's like I had that though. I had a mother and father who was married, so all the type of stuff played a part for me. But again, my elder is married. It's some elders out here that don't have a wife. Not, and we know Paul didn't either, but we understand that Paul was. He understood he was a wife. He was married to the Most High, so it was different with him because he still gave wisdom with some things as well. But at the same time, you really don't want to get to that point. But Paul didn't get caught up with nothing though. Paul was seeking. He was about that. So don't people try to, well, Paul was married. You got to make sure if you got an elder, he know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
You know, and the same thing with your wife. Watch who she's dealing with. You know, make sure if she's talking to a woman out of 10, she's married and she's submitting to her husband and all that. Well, yeah, we as a man, we should be able to see that and check that. Hey, we can't be round out on that.
Yeah.
She can't come over here. Be here at the park. And I know, my wife can add something, but she want to add something.
I was just gonna say, did you want to, add anything?
So I think for marriage, it's important for everyone to be on the same page, and that includes in the scriptures. So I feel that it's important for them to work together, building each other up in the scriptures. And it's more than just 50-50. I know people say that all the time, but if both people are putting in 100%, then you'll get a better outcome versus trying to meet them halfway. So you should be giving your wife your all, and your wife should be giving you their all.
Right.
Yeah.
And everything to just fall into place.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that brings us to our next question. Kind of in and out on the interview. What other resources, other than what you have now out, the Woe card game and the Truth of Yah Volume 1 board game, what other resources do you have or that you have in the works to, help people come more into the truth?
Well, I got some more things in the work. I'm actually getting me and my elder. We're gonna do some things together. Y'all willing, we'll come together and get some stuff done. Okay. My elder Rick and Elder Troy will come get some stuff done and really bring real light to this thing, and more so because a lot of our people are hurting. And it's just to the point of we working on some things of understanding how to serve. And it could be a tool, maybe some type of because I got some online online stuff coming when it comes to business, because all the stuff matters. You know what I'm saying when it comes to that. So we working on a lot, to be honest. I'm just trying to give too much because we still in the kinks of some things, but the point of our key thing is really making sure servant we understand how to serve, and we're working on some tools and things when it comes to that. That's the only way to be perfect. People say you can't be perfect, so working on some things let you see if you're walking with the Most High is within you. You're gonna be able to walk perfect because His Spirit will allow that. And as long as you're serving, if like right now, for example, you giving an interview, and you ask some, you're just like, hey, listen, say you come to me, look, we're gonna ask these 10 questions. You ask these 10 questions, you're perfect. Now you ask 11 questions and we know nothing about. It's like, okay, now look, you tripping. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, as long as you're following the ways of Yah, Yah said do this, you serve Him. The moment you start trying to go your own way, understanding you're not serving Him. Right. So these are some things that we're working on right now, and there's gonna be more tools. I'm big on, like my wife said, I'm creative. Okay. So we got a lot of tools coming. Apps. We got some apps on the way as well. Okay. We coming. Okay. So yeah, this. I know you don't want to give too much. Yeah. We're coming. Okay, so what's next for? I guess that's kind of the same question, but as far as like what's next, as far as do you have any community projects coming up? As far as making this expanding, making this thing bigger than what it already is. I know that you're in all 50 states, but just what's the plan as far as to build a bigger community within the Truth of Yah? Well, again, that's what me and my elders gonna come in together. We're really gonna be building on pure religion. So you understand, pure religion is going out to the needy, the fatherless, and things like that. Okay. So we're really dealing with pure religion. We're in the process right now. I'm in the process trying to, how do I get into these jailhouses and really giving them truth, not and to be able to heal them with truth, not the heart in their heart.
Right.
You know, a lot of people get truth in their heart with it. You know, but sometimes you gotta, no matter what, we gotta look at ourselves and examine ourselves. We want to look at every other nation. Oh, they wicked, but it say Israel's a stiff-necked nation.
Yes.
So these are things we do in the community, building that. I'm already in the community now. I do things with the youth a lot. I'm a part of Triple S, which is South Shore Select.
Okay.
Triple S. So South Shore Select out here. I'm a part of some of the high schools as well, doing some things with the youth as well.
Okay.
Again, like I said, I'll be coaching football and things like that, and just being that light. But we got some things really going on for the. I don't want to say y'all can help me out. I'm sorry, guys. The old folk home, but what they call it?
Retirement home?
Yeah. So you know, we're gonna be doing some things with that as well. But we're trying to figure out how to be wise as serpent, harmless as dove when it comes to that, because we know a lot of them be owned by the Catholics.
Right.
So I went to talk to a few of them, but they like, hey, you gotta speak, we speak. So
Yeah.
we just can't we can't come there. So we're just trying to figure out some things when it comes to that, to really get into the community and be that light to let them know. Yes, we're Israel, but how do we supposed to walk as being Israel as the servants of Yah? So we
Okay.
got some things going on with that with the community. So.
Well, I can't wait for all those things to go into the works, so that, you know, definitely want to continue to build with you guys and be able to, you know, bring esteem to the kingdom and spread this truth. So with that being said, that pretty much concludes the interview. I'm glad that we was able to, you know, get this done. Like I said, it's been a long time coming. I've personally had these questions for you guys, and always wondered, you know, what was the intent, and wanted to get a little bit of more background about the board game and about you guys as a person as well. So if you want to just tell everybody, you know, some may already know, but your website, you know, contact information, you know, where they can kind of reach you and things like that.
Okay, so guys, to get the Truth of Yah Value on Board game, visit our website, thetruthofyah.com, or our Instagram, Truth of Yah. You just click link in the bio. And guys, as well, we have a new Woe card game just came out as well. Woe until you backslide, repent and perish. So again, you know, it's a Woe card game. Set apart as well, and then we got some all-powerful praises to the Most High socks. So we got 6 different colors, and we have a bundle going on. But again, if you want to go check out, and the bundle is called the Set Apart Bundle, and you get 1 board game, a Woe card game, and 2 pair of our socks. Pick out of 6 colors to go check that out. And again, our website is thetruthofyah.com, and again, our Instagram is Truth of Yah, and just click link in the bio. So again, you know, thank you for having us on interview with us, and you know, just throwing this out here. Hopefully, you know, Black to Hebrew wants to come and be a part of our team as well. We can keep growing and doing this thing, because again, I'm looking to get with people that's really ready to serve the Most High. It's not a part-time job. So if y'all in the comments, tell them to come and join us. Black to Hebrew, we're gonna be doing some things. So
we ready. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that collab. But you know, thank you guys for, you know, coming, of course, answering these questions, allowing me to get to know you guys a little bit better, and the audience, you know, all of your followers that you've already had, and, you know, just people who may be having questions about the truth, coming into the truth. So all the information, contact information, will be in the description. So make sure you check the description for website, social media platforms, and that's pretty much it. Shalom. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Shalom.